My beloved child, I see the weight you carry. Each morning you rise not because you're full of hope, but because you must. There is a heaviness in your chest that no one else sees, not even those closest to you. You've grown used to the silence around you, but the silence inside is the one that frightens you the most. You smile when you must, nod when it's expected, but deep within, you're crumbling. I know. I've been there with you through it all. You've experienced the ache of broken family bonds. You've held back tears at dinner tables where love used to overflow. Now it's filled with silence, misunderstandings, and cold glances. The people you expected to be your refuge became the very source of your pain. I watched as you tried to hold everything together, even as it fell apart in your hands. And still, you looked to me, even when you weren't sure if I was listening. In your work, you gave more than was asked, hoping that diligence would somehow fill the void. But instead of recognition, you received rejection. Instead of fulfillment, you found yourself drained. And now, you wonder if all your efforts mean anything at all. You lie awake at night, staring into darkness, asking questions your lips are too tired to form. Is this all there is? Where are you, God? Do you still hear me? Yes, my child. I hear you, even in the moments you thought your prayers evaporated into empty air. I was there. I never turned away. You just couldn't feel me, not because I left, but because your pain created a fog too thick to see through. And I understand. I never ask you to be stronger than your breaking point. I never expected you to carry the world. I remember the day you knelt at church, tears threatening to fall, but holding them back because you didn't want others to see. You looked up at the cross and whispered, "Where are you?" I was right there, kneeling beside you. I wept with you. My presence is not always in thunder or miracles. Sometimes it is in quiet companionship, in simply sitting beside you when words are too heavy to speak. You think your faith is failing because you don't feel me. But my child, faith was never about feelings. Faith is what remains when the feelings fade. You have not disappointed me. You are not less because you are tired. In fact, it is in your weariness that you are closest to me. For when you have nothing left, that's where I begin. You are not alone in this story. Others have walked this path too, ones who cried out to me in their darkest hours. And I answered them, just as I am answering you now. Not always with immediate change, but always with my presence. Always with my love. The storm around you might still rage for a while, but I am your shelter. I don't remove every wave, but I promise you won't drown. I know how tired your soul is. I see you struggling to keep going. That quiet sigh you let out when you think no one's watching. I heard it. That single tear falling on your pillow. I caught it. I keep every tear of yours, not as a reminder of your pain, but as a testament to your perseverance. This is not the end of your story. You may not see the next chapter yet, but I'm already writing it. It is filled with light, with hope, with healing. The pain you feel now is not wasted. It is preparing your heart to receive what I am about to do. I am not punishing you. I am drawing you nearer. Sometimes I allow the silence so you learn to hear me deeper, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Let me carry you. You've tried to be strong for too long. Rest in me now. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to stay close. I will lead. I will guide. I will restore. If only you could see what I see in you. I see someone who didn't give up, even when it would have been easier to walk away. I see someone still showing kindness, even with a wounded heart. I see someone who is trying, and that trying is beautiful to me. You were never meant to be perfect. You were only meant to be mine, and you are. No failure, no fear, no fatigue can separate you from my love. Not today, not ever. So here I am, holding out my hand. You don't need a grand gesture. You don't need the perfect prayer. Just whisper, I trust you. That's enough. That's where your miracle begins. And I promise you, this time, something will change. Not because you've done more, but because you've let me in. You may wonder, if you're with me, then why do I still feel so lost? My child, even when the sky is covered in clouds, the sun still shines behind them. Just because you don't feel my presence doesn't mean I'm absent. Sometimes I hide my hand so that your faith may grow, so that you learn to walk by trust, not by sight. Every tear, every sigh, every moment of silence is sacred to me. There are things I'm healing in you that you don't even recognize yet. You've asked me to change your situation, and I will, but first, I'm changing your heart. You asked me to make others see your worth, but first, I'm helping you see it for yourself. I am doing a deeper work, a transformation that no one else may notice at first, but you'll feel it. It begins in the stillness. It begins when you dare to believe that I am enough for you, even now. My love is not based on your performance. You don't earn it, you don't lose it, you only need to receive it. Stop measuring your value by the response of others. Start seeing yourself through my eyes, beloved, chosen, worthy, even when broken, especially when broken. You haven't missed your moment, you're not too far gone, this valley is not forever. It's a place of preparation. The ground beneath your feet is not barren. It's being softened for something new to take root. Trust the process. Trust my timing. Trust that even this, even now, has a purpose. I know you're tired, so come, lean into me. Let me be your strength today. You don't have to climb out of the darkness alone. I am your light. I am your peace. And I will never leave you, my beloved child. I see you standing in the middle of a crowd, smiling politely, nodding in conversation, and still feeling like no one truly sees you. Surrounded by voices, yet none speak to the ache within. There are people all around you, yet your heart whispers, no one really knows me. You've mastered the art of appearing fine, while silently wondering if anyone would notice if you disappeared. That loneliness you carry, the one even you don't have words for, I understand it deeply. You weren't made to walk alone. I know how relationships have let you down. Friends who promised to stay drifted away. People you opened your heart to misunderstood you, judged you, or walked away when you needed them most. Each goodbye left a wound. You stopped opening up. You began to shrink yourself, telling your heart, don't feel too much, don't speak too loud, don't be too real. But child, I never asked you to be smaller to be loved. You feel distant from those around you, even when they sit right beside you. You laugh at the right times, contribute to the conversation, but afterward you feel emptier than before. You wonder, why do I feel so alone when I'm not truly alone? It is because your soul longs for a connection that goes beyond words and appearances. You long to be known deeply, truly, fully. And I tell you now, I know you that way. Before anyone ever called your name, I had already spoken your identity into being. I know the way your mind drifts at night, the silent dreams you bury beneath your busy days. I see the way your eyes light up when you talk about what you love, and how they dim when you feel unseen. I know every thought, every sigh, every hope you're afraid to voice. There is no part of you that is hidden from me. Even in your doubt, even in your wondering if you're worthy of connection, I am drawing you closer. Loneliness can be a place where the deepest healing begins. When every voice fades and you think you're by yourself, my voice becomes clearer. In the stillness of your pain, I speak tenderly. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. I see you. I know you. I love you. There is a sacred kind of loneliness, not born of abandonment, but of preparation. I have allowed seasons of solitude not to punish you, but to deepen your awareness of me. In the silence, your soul can hear what the noise of the world drowns out. You were never truly alone. I have walked with you through every season, every heartbreak, every closed door. In those places of isolation, I've been shaping you for something greater. Do not believe the lie that something is wrong with you just because people fail to understand your heart. You were never created to fit into every space or to be accepted by every crowd. You were set apart. You were designed for something higher and deeper. Sometimes the cost of being different is feeling out of place. But you are not lost. You are held. I am restoring your ability to connect, not just socially, but spiritually. I will send people who will not ask you to earn their love, who will not be intimidated by your depth, who will not disappear when you're vulnerable. But first I am showing you that my love is enough. My presence is enough. Being known by me is the foundation for all other relationships. When you rest in my love, you stop chasing counterfeit connections. When you believe that you are already enough, you stop performing to keep people near. I don't love you because you have it all together. I love you because you are mine. My love heals the parts of your heart that even you've ignored. Those quiet tears you cried in your room, the ones you wiped away before anyone could see, I saw them. They reached me. Not one of them was wasted. I collect every tear, and I pour back peace in return. Even when you think your prayers are unheard, they are cradled in my heart. Don't be afraid to be seen by me. There is nothing I will reject. Your scars, your secrets, your insecurities, they don't scare me. They draw me closer. I didn't come for the perfect. I came for the broken, and you, my child, are safe with me. One day you'll look back at this season and realize that what felt like abandonment was actually preparation. What felt like silence was actually sacred. What felt like being unseen was really me seeing you more deeply than ever before. Let me remind you, no one understands you more than I do, for I created every detail of who you are. I placed the sensitivity in your spirit, the depth in your thoughts, the compassion in your soul. I know why you feel too much, because I gave you a heart that reflects my own. So stop hiding, stop shrinking. You are not too much. You are not too different. You are mine. Every part of you has purpose. Every emotion, every longing, even the ache of loneliness when surrendered to me becomes holy ground. There is healing in being known. Let me start there. Let me be your closest friend, your constant companion, your safe place. Walk with me through the loneliness, and I will show you the beauty that waits on the other side. You will not be alone forever. This season is not the end. It is the beginning of something new. Come to me, just as you are. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to make sense of the ache. Just come. I will meet you in the middle of it. I will speak love into the cracks. I will fill the emptiness with my presence. You are never truly alone, not when I am near. And my child, I have never left your side. My beloved child. There comes a moment when the pain becomes too loud, too constant, too exhausting to ignore. It was there, in that ache, where something inside you whispered, "Try one more time." Not because the circumstances changed, not because you felt strong, but because something deeper called you. You didn't have a plan. You didn't have certainty. You just had one tiny, trembling hope. Maybe if you trusted me, something would begin to shift, and in that moment, something sacred happened. You chose to believe without proof. You laid down your pride, your fear, your constant need to control. You whispered a simple prayer, not eloquent, not perfect, but honest. God, I don't know what to do, but I choose to trust you. That prayer opened heaven. Faith doesn't always start with confidence. Often it begins in desperation. And that is not a weakness, my child. That is the doorway. The smallest seed of faith is still alive. It still moves mountains. When you took that first uncertain step toward me, I was already running toward you. You didn't see thunder or lightning. Nothing around you changed immediately. But everything inside you began to shift. The moment you gave me your heart, instead of trying to fix everything on your own, I began to work, not just around you, but within you. I wasn't waiting for you to be strong. I was waiting for you to surrender. Letting go was hard. I know that. You had carried your life like a tightly packed bag, fearful that if you set it down, everything would fall apart. But when you released it into my hands, it didn't fall apart. It fell into place. Not all at once, but piece by piece, peace began to enter. Hope began to rise. And for the first time in a long time, you felt the stirring of possibility. Faith isn't always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet decision to pray one more time, to forgive when it hurts, to speak kindly to yourself, to wake up and keep going even when you don't feel like it. Every one of those acts is faith, and faith is powerful because it connects you to me, and I am the one who makes all things new. I saw how you doubted yourself, how you questioned whether you could really live a life of trust. You wondered, what if I believe and nothing changes? What if I get my hopes up again, only to be disappointed? But child, faith doesn't prevent disappointment. It gives you a place to land when life falls short. That place is me. And I will always be enough for you. You thought you had to have it all figured out to come to me. But I never asked for perfection. I asked for your heart. I wanted your willingness, not your performance. And that is what you gave me. Even trembling, even uncertain, you said yes. And I took that yes and began writing a new story for your life. Each morning since that moment you've walked forward. Maybe slowly, maybe with tears still falling, but you have walked. And that is the miracle. Not that everything changed overnight, but that you changed. That one step in faith became 2, then 3. And suddenly a new rhythm started in your soul, not led by fear, but by trust. I have been with you every step. Every time you felt alone, I was holding you. Every time you nearly turned back, I whispered courage into your soul. Every time you forgot the way, I gently guided you back, not with shame, with grace. Because I am not here to condemn your weakness. I am here to walk with you through it. This journey will not always be easy. There will still be days of doubt, nights of pain. But now you're not facing them alone. Now you know how to find me in the silence. Now you know that even a whisper of faith reaches my heart, and I am responding. I am opening doors no man can shut. I am softening hearts that seemed unmovable. I am bringing healing to wounds that have lingered too long. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted me. That trust is your offering. That trust is your act of worship. So keep walking. Keep praying. Keep saying yes, even when it feels small. Each yes is a seed, and I will bring the harvest. Do not despise the small beginnings. From these I will build something eternal. Your faith is not invisible to me. It is precious, it is powerful, and it is enough. One step in faith opened the door to this whole new path. Stay close to me, and I will lead you all the way home. Remember, you are not walking toward me to earn my love. You are walking with me because you already have it. I loved you before you believed. I chose you before you ever said yes. Your step of faith didn't create my affection. It simply awakened your heart to receive what was always yours. I am not counting your failures. I am counting your returns. Every time you come back, I celebrate. Every time you pray, I listen. Every time you wonder if I'm still here, I draw even closer. Don't let the voices of doubt drown out the truth I've spoken. You are mine. You are loved, you are guided, you are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be because you are in my hands. If you feel tired, pause. Rest in me. Let me speak peace to the parts of you still afraid. Let me remind you that even now, even here, there is purpose. The process matters as much as the promise. There will come a day when you will look back and see how far you've come. You will see the strength I built in your surrender, the joy I planted in your sorrow, and the beauty that bloomed from your yes. One small step in faith became the foundation of transformation, and it's only the beginning, so take another step. Not in fear, in trust. I am with you. I am for you. I go before you, and I walk beside you. My love will carry you forward, farther than you ever imagined. You chose faith. Now watch what I will do with it. My beloved child, you took a step of faith, and you expected peace to follow. You believed, and you hoped things would finally get easier. But instead, the storms rolled in. The job disappeared. The arguments at home grew louder. The people you trusted withdrew without explanation. You looked around and asked, "Why now, Lord? I finally chose you. Why is this happening?" My child, I heard that cry in your heart. I felt the tears you didn't let anyone see, and I want you to know this. The trial is not a punishment. It is a preparation. The fire did not come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. Faith is not proven when everything is calm. It is proven when the waves rise and you choose to keep walking anyway. You are not being attacked because you failed. You are being refined because you believed. The moment you trusted me, a shift began in your life, and yes, that shift brought resistance. Darkness always pushes back when the light starts to shine, but you are not alone in this. I am with you in the fire, and I will use every flame to strengthen what I've planted in your soul. You see, faith is not a shield that blocks pain. It is the strength to endure through it. It is the quiet courage to say, "Even now I will praise you." That's what you did. When disappointment knocked, you didn't collapse. When confusion circled you, you chose to pray. It wasn't loud, it wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that matters more than you know. There is a part of you that wondered, is this a sign I made the wrong choice? No, my child. This is the sign that your choice has weight. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't threatening. Your faith is dangerous to darkness. Your obedience is powerful in the unseen realm. So, when the trials came, it wasn't to undo you. It was to build something in you that cannot be taken away. I saw you waking up with heaviness and choosing to worship anyway. I saw you wanting to give up and yet still whispering, "God, help me." I saw the tears fall as you sat in silence, holding on to hope, even when your hands felt empty. And I want you to know I was there. Every single moment I was near. I did not send the storm, but I will use it. I will take what the enemy meant for harm and turn it into a testimony. I will use these days of pressure to carve a deeper well of strength in your spirit. I am not wasting a second of your struggle. While you see chaos, I see construction. I am building endurance, wisdom, compassion, and courage. I am building faith that doesn't break when the ground shakes. Remember, even when the disciples followed me closely, they still faced storms. The difference wasn't the absence of trouble. The difference was who was in the boat with them. And I am in your boat. I have not abandoned you. I will not let you sink. You may not understand everything now. That's okay. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to stay close. I am asking you to let me hold you when you're weak, to trust me when you can't see, and to believe that there is meaning even in the mess. The pressure you feel is not a sign of failure. It's the shaping hand of purpose. You are being prepared for things greater than you imagined. I'm not just blessing your life, I'm enlarging your capacity. And that process is not always comfortable. But it is good, it is holy, and it is worth it. Don't compare your path to others. Some walk through fields and some through fire, but both are part of my plan. You're not behind, you're not forgotten, you are exactly where I need you to be. This season may feel heavy, but it is not wasted. I know it hurts. I know it's not what you expected. But lean into me. Let me teach you what strength truly looks like. It's not always bold or loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. Sometimes it's showing up. Sometimes it's simply breathing and choosing to believe again. Faith does not eliminate trials. It transforms how you walk through them. With faith, you don't walk alone. With faith, you carry peace even in pain. With faith, you rise again. So don't be afraid of this season. It is not your end. It is a sacred turning point. You are not losing. You are becoming steady, becoming anchored, becoming everything I designed you to be. And through it all, I am holding you. I am strengthening you. I am fighting for you. One day, you will look back and see that this was the chapter where your faith was no longer just something you spoke, but something you lived. This was where it deepened. This was where it solidified. This was where it became unshakable. So lift your head, even if your heart is heavy. Keep walking, even if your steps are slow. Keep praying, even if your voice shakes. You are growing in ways the world can't measure. I am proud of you, not because you're perfect, but because you haven't quit. not because you have all the answers, but because you said yes. You chose me, and now I'm showing you that no trial can cancel what I've spoken over your life. The trial didn't come to break you. It came to build you, and I promise you this: what's being built will last. My beloved child. In the middle of the storm, when the sky was dark and nothing made sense, something quiet and gentle began to stir in your soul. It wasn't loud. It didn't arrive with fanfare. It was simply a soft light, flickering where fear had long tried to take root. You noticed it not because everything got better, but because in the chaos, something inside you didn't collapse this time. And that something, my child, was peace. Not the peace the world gives, which depends on circumstances, but the peace I give, which holds steady even in pain. It was my gift to you in the silence, my comfort when everything else felt unsteady. You didn't even know how it got there. But it was there. And that small light in your soul began to glow stronger each time you chose to lean on me. You could have turned inward. You could have focused on your lack, your exhaustion, your pain, but instead you did something unexpected. You looked beyond yourself. Even while your hands were still trembling, you reached out to others. Even while your own heart was aching, you listened to the hearts of those around you. And that, my beloved, is love. That is faith in action. I saw you that day when you comforted someone who didn't know you were grieving. I saw you give what you needed for yourself. I saw you smile when you wanted to cry and offer hope when your own felt fragile. That was not weakness. That was the strength of a heart transformed by grace. You did not wait to be full before you began to pour out. And I want you to know, every drop of love you gave did not leave you emptier. It made room for me to fill you again. That's what I do. When you give, I refill. When you love, I expand your capacity to love more. When you bless others in your brokenness, I step into your story and begin to rebuild. This is the mystery of my kingdom. The world says you must gather, hoard, protect. But I say, give, and it will be given to you. Love, and love will flood your soul. Forgive, and freedom will find you. It feels backwards at first, but this is the rhythm of heaven, and you have started to walk in it. I am proud of the way you've chosen to love in the middle of lack. Not because you have all the answers, but because your heart has stayed soft. In a world that tells you to close up, to numb out, to harden yourself against disappointment, you have chosen to remain open. And because of that, you are becoming a light for others. You may not even realize the impact you've had, but someone saw your kindness and felt less alone. Someone heard your words and dared to hope again. Someone felt your presence and sensed a peace they couldn't explain. That was me, shining through you. You don't have to be perfect to carry light. You just have to be willing to show up, willing to love, willing to be present even in your own uncertainty. And you've done that, quietly, humbly, beautifully. The small acts matter. The simple kindness, the quick prayer for someone else, the message you sent when you didn't feel strong. I see all of it. None of it is lost. All of it is seed. And I am the one who waters and brings the harvest. Let me remind you of something beautiful. When you give out of your need, it opens the door for my abundance. When you bless while still healing, it releases healing over your own life. When you choose joy while still in sorrow, it invites my joy to dwell deeper in you. Nothing you give in love is ever wasted. There is a reason your peace has grown. It is not because the storm is over, it is because you have anchored yourself in me. You've chosen not to wait for circumstances to settle before finding rest. You've chosen to find it in my presence, and that kind of peace is unshakable. The world will always have noise. There will always be needs, pressures, demands. But when you live from a place of abiding in me, you bring heaven into the noise, and you have started to do that, even if you don't see it fully yet. I see it clearly. That light in your soul, it's no longer flickering. It's growing, it's steady, it's becoming a beacon for others who are still lost in the dark. And as you continue to love, continue to give, continue to show compassion, I will continue to fill you. You will not run dry because your source is not yourself, it is me. When you feel weary again, come and rest. When your heart begins to tighten, bring it to me. I am not asking you to love from your own strength. I am inviting you to draw from my endless well. I never run out of peace. I never run out of joy. I never run out of grace. And all I have is yours. So keep loving. Keep blessing. Keep shining. What started as a small light will become a steady flame. What began in pain will become a testimony, and through you, others will find the courage to keep going. You didn't wait until you had everything. You loved right in the middle of your need, and because of that, I am filling you in ways you never imagined. I am multiplying what you thought was small. I am breathing life into your obedience. When you give love, I pour it back into you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. That is my promise. That is my delight. You are not running on empty. You are being filled as you pour. You are being strengthened as you serve. You are being healed as you help others heal. And this is just the beginning. My beloved child, it didn't come with trumpets. It didn't announce itself with flashes of light or waves of applause. The miracle I sent came quietly. It entered your life like a soft breeze brushing across your soul, gentle but undeniable. And you almost missed it, not because you weren't looking, but because it arrived wrapped in something ordinary. It began with an email. Just a few words, an invitation to a job interview that once felt too distant to hope for. You stared at it in disbelief, not because you didn't think it could happen, but because it came at a time when you had stopped trying. You had let go, not out of despair, but in surrender. You placed the dream in my hands and said, "If it's meant to be, let it be." And so it was. That email wasn't just a message. It was a whisper from me. A reminder that I had been listening, that I had seen every silent tear, every disappointment, every closed door. And when the time was right, not earlier, not later, I opened a new one. Then came the call, one you hadn't expected, one your heart didn't even know it still longed for. Your mother's voice, trembling, reaching out across the silence of years. No rehearsed apology, just a simple, "I'm sorry." And in that moment, something cracked open in you. The wall you built to protect your heart began to crumble, not because she said everything right, but because I was working through her words. You didn't plan for reconciliation. You had grieved the loss, made peace with the distance, but I never stopped working. I never stopped stirring hearts behind the scenes. And the call that came was not just hers, it was mine. I was speaking through her, calling your heart back to healing. These moments felt small on the surface. Just a message, just a call, but they carried the weight of heaven. Because I delight in using the small things. I love to surprise you with quiet beginnings that grow into wonders. The greatest miracles often come without spectacle, because I want you to know me in the stillness, not just in the dramatic. You see, child, miracles don't always look like mountains moving. Sometimes they look like courage to hope again. Sometimes they look like a voice you haven't heard in years saying, "Can we start over?" Sometimes they look like the job that aligns not just with your needs, but with your purpose. And none of it happened by accident. I was weaving threads behind the scenes, preparing hearts, aligning timing, softening edges. You didn't see it, but while you were waiting, I was working. While you were praying, I was preparing. While you were growing in faith, I was setting things in motion. I know you doubted. I know there were days you thought, maybe nothing will change, but you chose to believe anyway. You kept walking, even when the path was unclear. You kept praying, even when answers didn't come quickly. And that faith opened doors no man could shut. Now you see the beginning, just the beginning. These small signs are not the end of the story. They are the start of a new chapter. One written not with striving, but with surrender. One built not on control, but on trust. And it began with your yes. I am not limited by size. I do not measure miracles by volume. I measure them by impact. And what I'm doing in your life now may feel small, but it is the seed of something unstoppable. You are stepping into a season where the unseen will begin to show, where the quiet prayers of your past will begin to bloom in the present. Don't rush it. Don't despise it. Just because it's not dramatic doesn't mean it isn't divine. I am the God who speaks in thunder, yes, but I am also the God who speaks in whispers. And my whisper is never weak. It carries power, purpose, and promise. The same spirit that raised the dead is the spirit that led that email to your inbox. The same love that formed galaxies is the love that moved your mother's heart to call. Nothing is too small for me to use. Nothing is beneath my attention. So lean into this. Notice the details. Savor the unfolding. Let your heart stay tender to the ways I move, even when they don't look the way you imagined. I am teaching you to see through eyes of faith, to notice my hand in the ordinary, to trust that I am always present, even when it feels quiet. And remember this, I didn't give you that job interview to tease you. I didn't stir your mother's heart to disappoint you again. I am not cruel, I am kind, and what I start, I complete. The same grace that began these miracles will carry them to fullness. Your job is not to control the outcome. Your job is to stay close to me. I am not finished. The call was just the first. The email was just the beginning. More is coming, not always fast, not always loud, but always right on time. So celebrate these small beginnings. Rejoice in the quiet victories, because heaven celebrates them too. Every time you notice me in the little things, your heart grows more aware of how near I truly am. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. I am moving. I am speaking. And I am blessing. One small miracle at a time. My beloved child. There is a kind of healing that doesn't happen all at once. It comes in waves, in layers, like sunlight slowly breaking through the clouds. You've been walking through this kind of healing quietly, steadily, and deeply. You didn't even notice it at first, but I was with you in every step. You began to forgive, not because everything felt resolved, but because you no longer wanted to carry the weight. The heaviness of resentment, the ache of shame, the pain of old wounds. They had lingered too long, and slowly, gently, you opened your hands and let them go. You released what was not yours to hold. That was the beginning of deep healing. You forgave others, but more beautifully, you began to forgive yourself. You stopped punishing your past and started blessing your present. You began to believe that your worth was not tied to your wounds, that your identity was not in what had happened to you, but in who I say you are. Each time you wrote in your journal, pouring out your doubts and hopes, you were praying. Each time you picked up your pen, you were letting me write with you. I saw your faith grow in quiet pages, in private tears, in the small, brave steps you made to speak about your journey. You began to share, not to boast, but to heal. You shared your faith journal with others, not because you had all the answers, but because you finally believed that your story mattered. And in doing so, you became a source of light to those still trapped in the dark. I did not heal you just for you. I healed you so you could carry healing to others. Your testimony is not a badge of perfection, it is a map for the broken. It shows them what is possible when a heart chooses to trust me. And this is only the beginning. You thought your pain made you unqualified to help others, but it's your pain that made you compassionate. You thought your mistakes disqualified you from being used by me, but it's your redemption that gives your words power. You thought your silence would keep you safe, but your voice is what sets others free. You have become a living reminder that healing is possible, that the past doesn't define the future, that forgiveness is a door that leads to peace. You don't just carry hope. You are becoming hope. There were moments you didn't think this kind of freedom was possible. You had lived so long with shame, with anger, with confusion. But look at you now, not perfect, but transformed, not without scars, but walking in wholeness. And every scar speaks of my grace. I want you to know something. I am proud of you. Not because you are strong all the time, but because you keep coming back to me. You let me hold your sorrow. You let me speak truth over your lies. You let me shape you when you could have stayed hardened. That is what faith looks like. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering differently. It means you can look back without being pulled back. It means you can love without fear. It means you can live without hiding. That is the kind of healing I am giving you. You are no longer who you were. And you are not yet who you will be. But you are right where you need to be. I'm not finished with you. I'm deepening your roots so your fruit can reach others. The people around you are watching, not for perfection, but for authenticity. And they see it in you. They see your gentleness. They hear your wisdom. They feel your peace. That is my spirit alive in you, and I will keep increasing it as you stay surrendered. So keep writing, keep sharing, keep forgiving. Keep loving. Your life is a letter that others will read. Let it tell the truth of who I am. I am your healer. I am your strength. I am your beginning and your restoration. What I've started in you, I will complete, and through you, I will heal many. Keep your heart soft. Stay close to me. This healing is not just for you. It is a gift I'm placing in your hands to give away. You are a vessel of healing now, and the world needs your light. This is my delight in you. There will be days when the pain echoes again. Healing is not a straight line, but on those days, return to what you know. You are loved, you are chosen, you are held. Let my words be louder than your doubts. Let my truth settle deeper than your fear. Do not be afraid to be honest about your journey. Your vulnerability is not weakness. It is a bridge. It invites others to lay down their masks, to say, "Me too," and to find healing in the light. You don't need to fix them, just be present. Let me speak through you. I will give you words when you don't have any. I will give you comfort when you feel empty. I will pour into you so you can keep pouring into others. This is not a burden, it is a calling, and I will never call you to something I won't empower you to carry. You are not alone in this. I have surrounded you with others on the same path. Let them walk with you. Let their faith strengthen yours. Let community be a reminder that healing happens best in the light of love. Write down what I've done. Tell the story, not for applause, but for legacy. So generations after you will know that I am faithful, that I am kind, that I heal what others thought was too far gone. What once hurt you will now bless others. What once broke you will now build others. That is the miracle of healing. That is the beauty of redemption. You are walking in the promise now. Every word you write, every hand you hold, every prayer you whisper, healing flows from you because healing lives in you. And I will be with you, always. My beloved child, when you first came to me, you didn't ask for much. You asked for strength to make it through another day. You asked for peace in your home, for purpose in your work, and healing in your heart. You prayed not with grand demands, but with trembling hope. And every prayer, every whisper, every longing, you thought they were simple. But I heard them as precious. You thought you were asking me to repair what was broken, but I was planning to build something entirely new. You prayed for a door to open, and I was designing a life that would stretch far beyond what you imagined. You asked for a job to help you survive. I prepared a purpose that would help others thrive. You thought the answer would be one thing. I answered with many, not all at once, and not in the way you expected. But one by one your prayers were answered, and not just answered, but exceeded. Now look at you. You once asked just to be accepted. Now you are influencing others. You once asked to be seen. Now your words are bringing light to those still in shadows. You once asked to be healed. Now you are helping others believe healing is possible. None of it was random. I didn't just give you what you wanted. I gave you what your soul needed. I led you gently, step by step, not just toward answers, but toward transformation. Because I am not just the giver of blessings. I am the one who shapes hearts through them. You didn't get here because everything went right. You got here because you trusted me when nothing made sense. You stayed when you wanted to run. You believed when you couldn't see, and that faith, it moved mountains. I saw the nights you cried alone, wondering if I had forgotten you. I hadn't. I was planting roots. I was building depth. I was preparing the foundation for something you didn't even know you could carry. And when the time was right, I began to reveal it. You didn't just find a job. You found a calling, a place where your gifts meet the world's need, a space where your story brings comfort, where your strength lifts others, where your scars speak healing. You didn't ask for that much, but I gave you more than you knew to hope for. Even the delays were my mercy. Even the closed doors were my redirection. You thought I said no, but I was saying wait. You thought I was silent, but I was working in secret. You thought the process was pointless, but it was sacred. Now you can see it. Not all of it, but enough to trust me deeper. Enough to say, "You knew better, Lord." Enough to thank me for not answering every prayer the way you asked. Because now you see the wisdom in my timing. You feel the goodness in my plan. You have become a mentor, a guide, a voice of hope, not because you chased it, but because you followed me. I didn't just lead you to what you wanted, I led you to who you were meant to be. That's how I work. I don't only give you the blessing, I grow you into the one who can carry it. I don't just open doors. I prepare you to walk through them with courage, humility, and purpose. Remember when you felt unseen? Now others see me through you. Remember when you thought you had nothing to offer? Now you're pouring out wisdom from a place of overflow. Remember when you were praying for rescue? Now I'm using you to rescue others. And it's not because you are perfect, it's because you are willing. It's because you kept showing up. You kept trusting. You kept choosing love, even when life was hard. That's what it means to walk with me. Not a path without struggle, but a path with me by your side. I didn't promise ease. I promised presence, and my presence has made the difference. I know there are still questions. I know there are still dreams you haven't seen fulfilled. But look how far we've come. Look how much I've already done. Let that remind you I'm not finished. I will take you further, not to overwhelm you, but to reveal more of who I am in you. I will expand your reach, not for fame, but for impact. I will deepen your peace, not because life will be perfect, but because you will know I am with you through it all. You once prayed for survival, prayed for... Now you live with purpose. You once hoped for small miracles. Now you walk in daily wonder. This is what I do. I take what is surrendered and multiply it. I take broken pieces and build something beautiful. I take small prayers and answer with eternal purpose. So if you're still wondering whether I hear you, the answer is yes. If you're still waiting, don't stop hoping. Don't stop praying, don't stop trusting. You haven't seen the full picture yet. But what you've seen is real, and what's coming is greater. I don't just lead you where you asked to go. I lead you beyond, not to punish you, but to bless you deeper. Stay close to me. Keep your heart open. Keep your hands surrendered. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to keep following, because I'm leading you further, and everything I have for you is good. Every day ahead holds more than just routine. It holds opportunity. Opportunity to love deeper, to serve greater, to speak life where there was despair. The influence you carry is not from a stage or a spotlight. It flows from your obedience. It shines from your consistency. It reflects the quiet choices you've made to live with me at the center. Let me remind you that your story is still unfolding. The chapter you're living now will prepare you for the next. You are not repeating the past. You are rising into a future that has been written with grace. Let the memories of answered prayers remind you of my faithfulness. Let the ones still unanswered teach you to wait in peace. I haven't forgotten a single word you've prayed, and while you may not see everything now, one day you'll look back and say, every step mattered, even the painful ones, even the silent ones, even the ones you didn't understand. You asked me for what you thought was enough. But I am the God of abundance. I don't just restore, I renew. I don't just answer, I overflow, so walk forward with wonder. Not fear, but expectation. Not worry, but joy. Because what's ahead is filled with my hand and guided by my heart. I'm not just giving you what you once asked for, I'm giving you more. more peace, more purpose, more of me. And I promise it will always be more than enough. My beloved child, you've been watching her story. You saw her doubts, her pain, her questions. You watched as she wrestled with fear, as she fell, as she got back up again. And now you see her standing, not because everything worked out perfectly, but because she chose to believe when everything inside her said not to. And now I turn to you. I ask you gently, can you believe like she did? Not because your story must be the same, but because the same God who worked in her life longs to work in yours. You carry pain too. Silent pain. Unspoken questions. Wounds that still ache even when you've learned to smile. You've prayed and sometimes felt nothing. You've waited and sometimes grown weary. You've wondered if I really see you, if I still have something beautiful to write into your story. I do, and I always have. But child, here is the truth. The miracle didn't start when she got the answer. It started the moment she chose to believe, the moment she whispered, "I don't understand, but I trust you." That was the beginning. That was the moment I could move freely in her life, not because she earned it, but because she opened her heart to me. And I ask you the same today. Not to prove yourself, not to perform, simply to believe. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to trust even while fear still whispers. It is the courage to take one step when you cannot see the next. It is choosing to say yes when everything in you wants to stay silent. Faith is not loud. It doesn't always feel strong. Sometimes it looks like tears. Sometimes it feels like weakness. But when you give me even that, I can use it. She was not perfect. She had doubts, questions, days when she wanted to give up. But she came back to me. Again and again. And I never turned her away. I never asked her to get it all right. I only asked her to come, and I ask you the same. Will you come? Will you give me what you're holding, the fear, the pain, the dream you've buried? Will you let me touch the part of you that's tired of hoping? You don't have to feel worthy. You don't have to feel strong. You just have to be willing. I can work with willing, I can work with broken, I can work with whatever you bring me. The story I'm writing in your life may not look like hers, but it will be no less beautiful, because I don't copy miracles, I create them anew. Each one shaped for the heart that receives it, and your heart is ready. Even if you feel unsure, the fact that you're still listening, still hoping, means your heart is open. You may ask, but what if I believe and nothing changes? And I tell you, something will always change: your heart. The storm outside might rage a while longer, but inside you a calm will begin. That calm is not your doing, it's my presence, and from that calm I will lead you. You do not need to see the whole picture to take the first step. The path is revealed as you walk. When she believed, I didn't show her the ending. I gave her light for the next step, and as she walked, more light came. I do the same for you. So do not wait until you feel brave. Do not wait until everything makes sense. Miracles are not reserved for those who understand, but for those who trust. If you wait for perfect certainty, you will miss the invitation I'm offering now. Can you believe like she did? Not because she was better, but because she was willing. Because she dared to say, even if it's small, here's my faith. That is enough. That has always been enough. I am the one who turns mustard seeds into mountains moved. I am the one who breathes life into dry places. I am the one who walks with you when no one else sees your pain. And I am the same now, for you. Look at your life. Look at the moments you survived, the nights you didn't think you'd make it through. The days you laughed when you thought you never would again. That wasn't luck. That was me. Every step I was there, every tear I caught, every hope I held. I know it's hard to trust again. I know people have let you down. I know promises have been broken and prayers have seemed unanswered. But I am not people. I am not distant. I am not absent. I am the one who saw you before anyone else did. The one who formed you, who walks with you, who is still writing your story. And this moment, right now, is not a coincidence. It's a calling. I am speaking to your heart, not just to comfort you, but to awaken you. You were made for more than fear, more than hesitation, more than hiding. You were made for faith, for courage, for the kind of life that breathes light into others. So say yes. Say yes, even if your voice shakes. Say yes, even if your faith is the size of a seed. That's enough for me. That's all I need. What I did for her, I can do for you. Not the same story, but the same grace. The same presence, the same love. Let me in. Let me heal what's hurting. Let me lift what's heavy. Let me show you what's possible when faith leads the way. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel strong. You just have to open your heart and say, "Here I am, Lord. I believe, and I will do the rest." Because faith doesn't require you to see. It only requires you to step. Now come, let's begin. My beloved child, this is not just her story. This could be yours. You've heard the journey, seen the pain, felt the turning points, and now you are here. Right at the edge of something new. Not because everything has been fixed, but because something inside you has shifted. Hope has awakened. The question is no longer whether I am real. The question is, will you trust me now? You don't need all the answers. You don't need to feel strong. You only need to be willing to take the first step. The journey you long for doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with surrender. Let go of the weight you've carried for so long. Let go of the fear of failing again. Let go of the illusion that you need to control everything. I never asked you to figure it all out. I asked you to follow me. One step, one breath, one yes. There is grace for your past, there is peace for your present, and there is purpose for your future. All of it is found in me. I am not far away. I am not a story from long ago. I am here. I am speaking. I am inviting you to begin. Not someday, not when you feel ready, not when things are less messy. But today, now, right here, in the middle of the questions and the quiet prayers. You may feel unsure. You may wonder, what if I fall? And I whisper, then I will catch you. The journey ahead is not free from challenges, but it is filled with my presence. You will not walk alone. I will go before you, beside you, and within you. This is the invitation, not to religion, but to relationship. Not to rules, but to restoration. I am not calling you to strive harder. I am calling you to come closer, to sit with me, to let me speak into the parts of you that feel too fragile to show the world. Your journey begins today, not because you are ready, but because you are willing. You are ready enough, brave enough, loved enough. I will do the rest. Let go of your need to understand everything. Let go of the voices that tell you it's too late. Let go of the shame that clings to old mistakes. I already paid for that. I already carried that. It is finished. And now it's time to begin. Lift your eyes. There is more ahead than behind. There is more grace than regret, more beauty than brokenness. I make all things new, including you. The life I have for you isn't small. It isn't safe in the way the world defines safety. But it is full of meaning, full of love, full of miracles you can't yet see. And it begins with a yes. Say yes to me. Say yes to the healing you've been afraid to hope for. Say yes to the new beginning that scares you because it feels too good to be true. I am the God who makes all things possible. I am the one who sees beyond your doubt and still chooses you. Your yes doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need to be loud. It can be whispered from a weary soul. It can come through tears. It can feel uncertain. What matters is not how strong your yes is, but who you're saying it to. You are saying yes to the one who holds eternity, who holds your heart, who holds every outcome in love. If you are waiting for a sign, this is it. If you are waiting for a moment to begin again, this is it. If you've been searching for something real, for something lasting, for something true, this is it. It's me. I've always been here. Your journey will not look like anyone else's. That is intentional. I crafted you uniquely, and the way I lead you will match the shape of your heart. I will not rush you. I will walk with you. I will show you where to step, how to rest, how to grow. There will be moments of wonder and moments of weakness. In both, I will be faithful. Don't fear the process. Don't fear the stretching. Every part of this journey is sacred. Every moment matters. I am forming you in the waiting. I am equipping you in the quiet. I am teaching you to hear my voice in the stillness, and as you walk, you will change. You will become who I made you to be. Your life will begin to overflow with love, not because you tried harder, but because you stayed close to me. That is where transformation happens. That is where joy is made full. So now, my child, breathe. This is not the end of a message. This is the beginning of movement, the beginning of trust, the beginning of a life walked with me, not just in moments of crisis, but in every breath. Take my hand, walk with me. You will never regret the yes you give me today. Because if you believe me now, what happens next will astonish you. You may still hesitate, wondering if you're worthy of this kind of love. Let me answer that clearly. Yes, you are. Not because of what you've done, but because of who I am. I chose you before you chose me. I loved you when you didn't love yourself. I saw you when no one else did, and I never turned away. Even now, I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for permission. Let me enter the places you've kept guarded. Let me bring light to the shadows. Let me be the peace you've been searching for in all the wrong places. You don't need to earn what I've already given. Just receive it. Receive my mercy. Receive my guidance. Receive my promise that you are never alone. Every step of the way, I will be there. You won't have to perform to keep me close. I am already as close as your breath. When you fail, I will lift you. When you fall behind, I will wait. When you call, I will answer. This is not a contract, it's a covenant. It's my vow to never leave you, never forsake you, never give up on you. So begin. Right now. Let today mark a turning point. Let it be the moment you remember for the rest of your life. The moment you said yes. The moment your story shifted, the moment heaven drew near, you are not too late. You are not too far gone, you are right on time, and this is just the beginning.